Hello. Okay, fair warning. I am going to put the second camera on, but we're on potato cam today. Are you ready? Okay. Hello. It's not the best quality compared to the other one. But anyway, here we are for a moment. Hello. Can I see where you all are? Yes. Hello. I hope you've had a wonderful week. It is a Friday and the October shopping list is now live. Hashtag advertising. Let's talk a little bit about the October shopping list straight away. So October is always a really interesting one for me in terms of trying to put a kit together because I love autumn, love Halloween. It's not autumn for all of you. You don't all live in places where autumn is kind of a vibe. Some of you live in places where you still need to wear a tank top and shorts in October. And you're going, no, it's not sweater weather. No matter how many die cuts you have, it's not sweater weather. So there's also, I really like Halloween, but some people are like, nope, that's not my thing. We don't do Halloween in my house. And you know what? I grew up with lots of people who, like, Halloween where I grew up was either you went all in or you closed the door, turned off all the lights and were doing other things because Halloween was not your thing. So I always try to make a kit that is then really versatile because since you get to control which pieces you put in, you can say, actually, I'm going to take all the Halloween stuff and ignore it. So that has led me to an interesting little mix. I love jewel tones for autumn, pretty much as I love orange tones for autumn. And the shopping in the autumn collections has really lent itself to jewel tones due to 2 releases that are in stock at scrapbook.com. So one is Paige's first collection with Pink Fresh. Paige has done jewel tones in the autumn before, and I really loved it, and she's done it here to start her journey at Pink Fresh. So I've put a bunch of her papers in there too. She had some littler, like, stickers and die cuts kind of things that I had on my list, but there's nowhere near enough of them in stock. So I've stuck with the papers. And then they've added Pretty Little Studio, which I've bought things from over here before, but it hasn't been at scrapbook.com. I'm so excited to see it there because it's a very different vibe. And for those of you who like, we missed the days of sassafras and stuff like that, I think you're going to really like Pretty Little Studio. It's not a clone by any means, but it has a vibe of that era. So a lot of things that already look a little bit collagey, but not in a distressed vintage kind of way, in a brightly colored kind of way. Love that. Lots of things like heart stars and butterflies. Love that. Little itty bitty letter tiles. So I've put some of those in turquoise. And labels. Now, I've had individual papers from Pretty Little Studio before and really liked them. But scrapbook.com doesn't have individual sheets currently. They have packs. So I've gone with a 6x6 paper pack, and I've had a really close look at it, even though I haven't seen it in person yet. But I've had a really close look at it, and I think it's going to be a great one for us to cut out and put on other things. So there we go. Yeah. And then in terms of the more Halloween-y stuff, I've got the Simple Stories Spooky Things, which does have jewel tones in with the black and the orange. And there's a couple of them that are just that color scheme, or they're just pumpkins without them being jack-o'-lanterns. So that's interesting. Yes, Georgia points out, Pretty Little Studio papers are shiny. The cardstock has a gloss to it. This is true. And this is the only thing where I'm like, the one way I would improve this is the paper stock. I don't know if the 6x6 is going to be the same, but I'm assuming so. But we're going to cut it up. I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah, nice to try something that hasn't been on offer there and we've never used here because I've done this long enough now. Oh, we're getting like rays of sunshine. And I've done this long enough now that one of the problems is how do I not make the kit look similar every month because we have we've done a pattern and I know what we can use and what works. So it's nice to have a new brand to choose from because There are brands that we haven't used, but they're just not brands that I would recommend or not fit in my style. So anything that is something I would buy for myself is what I consider for the kids. Okay, I think I've yabbered on enough, and this is enough of potato cam, even if we are getting this some sort of beautiful rays of sunlight happening here. All right, so let's switch cameras. There we go. That's a nice clear picture. So this is where we left off on Monday. So if you weren't here on Monday, I made a little mistake because, you know, I normally order the kit right as I'm putting it live for you. And but it would have arrived when we were not here because we went away. So I waited until we got back, and I think I just waited a little too long. I can see that it's in the country, but it's not here yet. So on Monday, we did the can I put all of my collections on one layout, and we got this far, and I think we did count, I'll double check in just a moment, that all of the collections are here, but I'd like to add in just a little bit. And then we're going to look at how I would go about pulling things from my stash to match the shopping list. And I'm not going to do back to school stuff because I'm going to wait for book fair because I'm really excited about book fair for back to school pictures. But I'm going to do some other looking at that in today's video. Okay, so shall I do my speech now? Hi. I suppose we can go back to potato cam for that if we must. And then I'll turn potato cam off. Hi, I'm Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally I need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my #advertising. I appreciate you being here, whether you are live and chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, think about coming back to craft, all of it. You can find all the links that you need in the description box. And just recently, I've reorganized them. So what you're looking for may be further down the list than before, but it's now organized in a sensible order. So I teach online scrapbooking classes. Those classes come first, and there's a new one coming really soon, so you can sign up for it. It's called Just Joy. And that starts on the 17th of September. So go ahead and sign up. Join us. And then scrapbook products that I design comes next in the link boxes, and you can go find all the collections I have that are still in stores with links there. And I teach you how to use them to tell your stories in a creative way. That's all the stuff for Best of Both Worlds, the supplies that I use in my live streams twice a week. You can find all that linked below. Right. That includes the September kit has an itemized list there, as well as next month's October shopping list. Okay, I think that's everything. Sign up for Just Joy. Everything for a little while is going to be brought to you by the new scrapbooking class, Just Joy. Oh, freezing. Why are we freezing? Okay, let's look. Let's see. Okay, I got a green there. Okay, what's being sent out here is good. Stream health is excellent. That's not helpful, YouTube. Why have you frozen me? Oh, we're back. Oh, how funny. Okay. All right, so we're back. All right. Now, so where were we? I needed Sparkle City. What is here from Sparkle City? I feel like we had something. Did we not? Oh, no, we were here. I just got interrupted and totally derailed my train of thought. Right. Okay, so we've got Sparkle City here, and then Field Trip, Never Grow Up, which one is, oh, main character energy is this mat here, the wood grain with the stripe. And then Reasons to Smile is this ledger that's going to have the journaling. And this paper here and this here are from Live the Dream. So that's it. That's all of them. Fabulous. Okay, so now I did say I would find a way to include this. So we're going to do that. And I think we might need some little things like this. All right. So we're going to figure out how we can put this vellum in. So what I'm wondering is, should I have done this much earlier in the process? Because underneath here. Right, remembering 3 ways to attach vellum. If these 3 ways do not answer your question, you're probably overthinking it. How to attach vellum. Number 1, you put it underneath something and the adhesive goes where it's not going to show. And any bit that hangs out just doesn't have adhesive. So the adhesive would go under here and this bit would just be hanging free. It's not going to go anywhere. It's fine. Or use a stapler to attach it on the top and then put staples somewhere else or more than one place on the page and then they don't look out of place. Or stitch it into place so that it's held that way, either stitch it by hand or by machine. If those 3 things don't work, you could also use brads or eyelets, but I just don't tend to use them much anymore. If those 3 things don't work, then just give yourself a moment and think, why not? Because 100% of the time I'm using those 3 things. Okay, so what I'm wondering is, what does it look like underneath here? I'm not sure that I'll love it on top of the dark paper, to be honest. I don't. Although I do love that you can see the little dot texture when it's on the dark. I think we better cut it down from there. The reason I don't love it is the cameras are big enough that you're not going to be able to tell what they are. So I have a green camera here. Let's take a green camera from the vellum. Annoyingly, that one is lovely, and it's right in the middle of the sheet. This one could also work. It's not in the middle of the sheet. This one could go there. Okay, so, or, hold on. If it's going underneath here, no, this is taller than that, so I need a whole camera. All right. Do we like the solid? This one? Or this one that has more details? These 2 are really similar in shape, so I think go with the one that has a different shape. So I'm going to cut out this one here. All right. First, before I cut the edges down, I'm going to see, do I want a halo on it? This camera does have a halo, so I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to leave a little border around the outside of the camera. And hey, the reason, well, no, there are many reasons I put cameras in almost every collection. Would have been every collection, but I wasn't always allowed. The main reason is cameras are what all of us have in common. We all scrapbook different things, but in some way we use a camera. So I think they are a universal icon for scrapbookers. Plus I like that there's lots of different ways to draw them, so I never got bored of coming up with different camera papers. But also, they're really easy to cut out. Caroline, I'll get back to you on that today. Yes, I do have your email about it. Okay, so little ink on the edge, and here's where it's going to go. So now I can see where my adhesive is going to go. It's going to go on that edge right there. Joanne has several sheets of the cameras. Let's see them on a page. Now that you've remembered that you have them. Yeah. So my adhesive is there. It's not going to go anywhere. And you can't see it. Lovely. All right. We need some confetti. Oh, and I wanted to look at these elements. Okay. Now, the sentiments that I had in this. Celebrate, thanks a million, you're sweet, hello, wonderful, hooray, love, take my hand, thank you, embrace life, love you forever, and let's dance. Right at the beginning, I was trying to put random dance things in. I always be like, why is there one phrase that just randomly mentions dancing? Because I think it should. Okay, so we could have a hooray or a wonderful or an embrace life or love you forever. Okay, any of those would work. So I've got phrases there. Let's look at which pieces I have to put them on. So the way this works is that these phrases slot into the holes here. So this would have two phrases. That's more suited for a card, really. This floral's a bit too different. I feel like that pink is going to work best. That one is second best. Okay, so let's try those two. So these were in True Stories, and they were called Tags with Vellum. Yeah, this is one of those things where you design a product thinking, I don't think I've seen anything like this. I think it could be cool. And it's just far enough out from what everybody knows that it's not a good seller. There's this real art to how can I make it understood enough that people will buy it without making it seem like the same old thing every time. So whenever people are like, oh, the collections always look the same, or, well, there's a reason for that. People buy what they've already bought before. So, and I don't mean that about my collections in particular. I just mean like it's a common thing said in the industry. And you're like, yeah, well, but it always reminds me of this scene in Devil Wears Prada, florals for spring, how riveting. Like, well, yes, florals in spring. Okay. I like using things that have wonder on them because he's Wonder Boy. So let's try this one. And here, see, I'm saying that's how I attach vellum. And then I go and do this. But I tell you what I do with these. You ready? So pop those over there for the moment. So this, you could fold them back, but then the hole in the die cut would show. So instead, I don't crease them back. Just pick it up enough to run adhesive next to the hole. And I'm doing just that little bit of glue there to keep it from wobbling. Yeah? All right. Oh, by the way, I know we did Halloween discussion already. Let's talk about Christmas. So my Christmas shopping list, I've done the list now, and then I just need to get it into the format where you can see it and click it. So that will be up later today, all ready to go. Right. Let's glue on there. May says, so how do they know something wouldn't sell better? Well, that's where products like this come in. So usually I would get to say, like, you know, this, well, we call them SKUs, yeah, items. This SKU and that SKU are two things we've never tried before. Let's give them a try. But if I said like 6, they'd be like, ha, ha, ha. You can't take that many risks in one collection. Yeah. So I'd get a couple things each time. And I mean, I had some that went great and I had some that bombed. The one that I really didn't see bombing anywhere nearly as bad as it did. Oh my heavens. In the Christmas collection, in Christmas Magic, I did a hanger. Like a wooden hanger that had a like red dotty design on it. That you were meant to just, you know, put it on a hook or a nail on the wall. And then you could put your, you could make something Christmassy and put it up there. You could make a countdown and put it up there. You could have it as your place to put your journaling prompt for the day, things like this. And it just did not, nope. Stores are like, what? Why would I want that? And then the stores that did buy it, customers are like, nope, why would I want that? But in my head, I thought it was going to be so delightful that we'd all have this little red hanger in our scrap space or somewhere in the house where you wanted to put something. And I was really on a kick at the time of encouraging people to make their scrapbooking more visible. Because if it's a hobby that you keep hidden away, we only lose people from the craft. Yeah. You have, like, it doesn't mean that everybody has to shout about it all the time, like those of us who make a living from it too. But if everybody keeps it as a very personal hobby and never shows it, then you don't ever get new people, right? So yeah. Oh, and no, there are no Christmas stamps from me this year. It's not happening. The rules are changing too much, too fast, and I don't want to get us into a jam where what I take is the pre-order doesn't cover it in the end, and either you end up paying more when it arrives, or I end up having to pay it here and lose what we put in. I can't run it at a loss. That's basically it. That's why I've always done pre-orders, so that you get what you want and I don't go bankrupt doing it. Yeah, that's always been the nice, safe way to do it. But yeah, it's not going to work this year. So no Christmas stamps this year, but the kit live later today. Okay, I really want the navy. In the navy. Which collection had this set of dots? The navy and two teals makes me think this was True Stories. I think so. All right, and then do I do one heart and one star in each? I think we do. Okay, so we'll do the green because that's a little star for my little star. How twee, but I don't mind. It's okay. For those of you who have stars from previous collections, let's definitely put them to use this year, if the stamps from previous collections. Let's make sure we make that happen. Joanne has several packets of these. Speaking, Georgia was saying how she loves this little Friday Live community. I got to meet somebody from the Friday Live community this week. That was pretty special. Yeah, so one of our Aussie crew came all the way over, and she's here for a wedding and seeing family and all of that. And we got to go to St. Dunstan in the East, which was super beautiful. And yeah, lovely. And Georgia says, use what you have. There's somebody who goes on about that. There really is. And that's why in just a little bit, we're going to look at how could I make something similar to September's kit with what I already have while I wait for my kit. Okay, I think this one we put in between the title and the flowers. Maybe further down. No, it's just, you can't see the colors there. We're going to put it here where it's visible instead. Still a triangle. See, sometimes it pays to have favorite color palettes because then I can put all these collections together and they still work. Let's get some gold in here. I think I'll leave this one off because I want that room for journaling. And we have covered everything now. Maybe a tab up here though. I'm gonna go back to this sticker sheet and see if there's something that might go up at the top to make that a little triangle. Every single collection appears here somewhere. I mean, not ever made, just mine. All of mine. And I took these headshots. Quite happy with them, actually. Interestingly, they haven't printed as even as they look on my screen, so I should probably double check that before I submit them for anything. Right, it was the box of crayon sticker sheet that I wanted to come back to, which has these two. See if I could just put a little third thing up here. Could use this border sticker. Not all of it, just part of it. Oh, come on. I should have cut it on the sheet so that I wasn't putting it back. Right. I think it needs the contrast up here, the pink rather than the green. And then there's one bit of orange there and a bit of orange there. I was thinking about putting this as a tab. I'm not going to cut it until I'm ready. I don't think that adds anything. Okay, not that then. What about any of these words? That one? That goes with the title. So we can have big plans, new hopes. Let's go under. I was like, do I move it over and that kind of starts the journaling? But starting the journaling would be that side, and this then creates kind of a boxed in area. So let's keep it here. And maybe just, does that turquoise match what's here? It does. I'll tack that back down in just a second. Ah, that stuck to me, not the page. Okay. There, and I've got a little pale one, pale pink. Bring that one down here. Okay. Any more? Why have 2 cameras when you could have 3? Okay. I think journaling there, and that's it. Unless anybody goes, no, you should do that. What that should I do? Have we got it? I think so. All right, so that is all of my collections that I ever did for American Crafts, all on one page. Yeah. Right. Now, little shift. So when we work with Best of Both Worlds, we start with this shopping list. And you can use it quite literally as a shopping list and just add everything to your cart, one of everything, and take it home, get that sent to you, and then you're off and you've got everything you need to follow along. Or you can use it to shop locally at a local store rather than the one that I link. That's fine too. Or you can use it to grab similar stuff from your stash so that you are actually using what you buy. Because as much as shopping through my affiliate links makes all of this possible, I don't want all of us to just have a massive stash of stuff we never use. No, I want you to use it. And when I design stuff, I want it to be used. And when I put a kit together, I want it to be used. So today, while I wait for my kit to arrive, because I ordered it late because I'm silly, we're going to pick a few pieces from the list. I'm going to find similar things for my stash so that we can build something together. Cool? All right, so if you don't have your kit, if you want to look in the description box, there is the link to the September list, and I'll also put it in the live chat. Just 1 second, so that we can see what we need to find. Yeah. So here is that list. If you want to pull up the list. So I haven't thought this through in enough time to think of how could I make that like a shared screen. I don't have that set up. So I'm giving you the link if you want to look at the same list of things that I'm looking at. So we have like a starburst, brightly colored kind of paper and an arrow paper. Then we have two quite collage-y papers, a wood grain, a purple happy cut apart, a nice yellow polka dot. I'm going to leave off the book fair collection stuff because that's my back to school and I'm excited to use that for back to school pictures. So that's what we've got. Let's see what I might have. So first thing I could probably do is look for what collage style papers I have that I haven't used. And this collection is $49 at Market, but it does remind me a little bit of, shocker, some Sasa. Let me see if I have the collection that I'm thinking of that could work. So Sassafras did two collections that were like a collage rather than a graphic design. The first one was called Mix and Mend, and it has an orange, sky blue, and yellow color scheme. And I have some of that here. But I really want the other one if I have it. I don't know if I have any of it left, so I'm just going to flip really quickly to see. Is it this one? No, that's Sunshine Broadcast, which is not the one I'm thinking of. I might not have it anymore. Okay, I don't. So let's go with Mix and Mend then, because I'm not seeing the other one. So this is what I have from Mix and Mend. Is any of this close to the list? Elaine's like, do you need to clear your desk? Well, right. Oh, wrong button. Okay. Come back. There's this thing when you're live streaming, it takes forever to tab back and forth between two windows. Okay. Right. So that's two sides of the same paper that I have. And this one that's a border down the side. So no, they're not really all that similar at all. Vicky papers might be more similar, but we could still use them. There's no reason that it struck a chord and made me go, oh, it reminds me of this, which means that's close enough. I don't have a huge amount of Vicky in here. Oh, no, okay. I was going to say, is this the one that was on? No, it's not on that list. Never mind. Let's see what I have of, because Vicky's papers are a mix of more graphic designs and more collaged type designs. So there might be something in here, but by and large, I've been really good at using my Vicky papers as I buy them. Oh, this one is quite collagey though. I think I had 2 sheets of this, and so I have made a layout because we put that in a kit once. Also have a starburst there. So that's getting me things that are similar to the kit list. All right. So what do we have if we put all that together? And then what could we have for like the happy cut apart? So the first cut apart I see on my shelf, well, something that could be cut aparty. Cut a party, it's totally a thing. Is that one. It's not really the same kind of design, but it's just the first thing that I saw on my shelf that kind of caught my attention when looking for that sort of thing. But of course, I always have a gazillion Simple Stories cut aparts that I've forgotten that I have. So let's look at that shelf. Love this collection, but I don't know that it matches anything I've pulled out. So let's see if there is anything that does match what I've pulled out. This was a summery collection, but it has some browns in it, so that's why I was stopping to look. Doing this sort of thing is so good to remember what you have. This will definitely work. Oh, and I have more than one. Okay, we got all that. And look, the other Jen Hadfield paper is a yellow dot. Let's have that. I got enough. Let's make something. Okay? So there we are. Doesn't need to be overthought. Doesn't need to be a perfect match. Things that make you go, yeah, that's pretty similar. That kind of makes me think of that product. Fine. That'll work. And then, you know, if you're always shopping your stash like this, if you still want to use that affiliate link to support stuff, you can go buy your things that none of us really super enjoy buying, but we have to. Adhesives, page protectors, albums, things like that. So, yeah, you could go do that. Use the affiliate link. I don't want to harp on about affiliate links, but I'll say this one last bit because I get this question a lot, actually. And people ask if I only get commission for what's on the list. Not at all. I get commission for anything you buy once you use that link, and you could buy nothing on the list, and that's absolutely fine. So shopping for another product, but you'd like to use my affiliate link because it doesn't change what you're paying. It just sends a little bit here too. So there you go. You can do that. Okay, I won't talk about affiliate links anymore now. That's all. Now, so could we use this? Georgia is babysitting the Cricut machine. Well, my cutter is directly behind me, so I understand your cause for concern. Get a bonus pretty bit there. Okay, so let's rip this up, shall we? Georgia, no one babysat me. I'm ripping the paper. Okay. It's not the best tear I've ever done. Probably shouldn't have talked to Georgia halfway through. There we go. That's a bit better. I don't mind that bit there. Well, sort of do. Oh my goodness. How does something like that even exist? Zen is at a 7-day crop in Colorado, and it's 4 a.m. and she's up watching because 7 days of cropping is not enough scrapbook content for her. Oh my goodness. All right. So we've done a little collage bit, bottom of the page. Nice, easy to use background. The rest. And, oh, construction guys are going to start yelling out my window. That's great, great. Love it. Here for it. So let's look at these cut aparts. Journaling ones here. Titles. And tiny ones. Okay, so this has both big and tiny. So let's start at the biggest ones and work down to the smallest ones. It's not coincidence that I haven't put photo on yet. I didn't print anything in advance, so now I'm trying to think what I'm going to put on it, but it's okay. What goes best with these colors? Because this blue is more, this is more blue-green, and this is way more blue-green than that is. That's more true blue. It's just light. So this one doesn't have as much, and it has a little bit of a true blue there. This one also has the true blue, but I just feel like, you know me, I'm going to go rainbows. So let's start this one. Okay, so I think that one. So that's the biggest size of the cut aparts I have available. Let's pick a 3x4. Oh, how funny. I was like, go with the one that has the most blue. That's this one. And we're back to good vibes words again, which we had there. But also, I can't stand wearing flip-flops. I never wear shorts. This is so not my outfit. So forget the idea of go with the one that has the most blue. Second one is a cactus. Right. What could we go? What about yellow? Yellow could work. And this doesn't have blue-green in it. And George is like, I could scrap till 4 a.m., but not get up to scrap at 4 a.m. Correct. Same. How many times in my life have I been, okay, I'll have to get up early and do that. And then be like, you know what? I did not get up early and do that. Ah! Okay, so once I cut that out, I like it a lot more. Yeah. Yes. Just Kelly says, can't do 4 a.m. unless it's for an airplane. Yep, same. So we got that one. Little journaling piece. By the way, I think it's really useful sometimes to do this where you don't have a photo picked out, but you're going to hold me accountable because when we come back on Monday, it's got to have a photo. There's no getting around that. Because I went through a phase when I was going to lots of crops, and never a 7-day one that just blows my mind, how epic. But and there was a point where if you wanted to go to a crop at least every other week in this country, you could. And so I went to a lot at one point in my life. And a lot of them would have a class where you didn't know what the page was going to be. So you didn't really have photos to bring with you. And, you know, we didn't have little printers that we brought along with us and digital photos and all of that. So I would make these pages and come home with the best intentions of putting something on them. And then I remember one day when I was reorganizing, I found this file folder that had like 25 pages with no photos. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I could use the blue here, this one. Well, they're kind of like the wood grain too. Oh, or this bit. Let's have that. And then we could have the wood grain on this tag here. Label, whatever it is. Georgia and Carissa have arranged a 12-hour crop. That's brilliant. I mean, it's not 7 days, but it's brilliant. All right, so we got those two. And then we'll go over to that 2x2. Zen also did finding the pages that were all now old-fashioned, but at the time were super cool, and never having put photos on them. And there's something about if they have the photos on, then they don't date as much because they've dated with the photos. So I look back in old pages that look a different style, don't bother me. But if I would find it really hard if you gave that page to me blank and told me to put photos on it now, because I'd want to put the other stuff that I put on pages. I'd want to put it on there. So yeah, which that's not against the rules. If you find that you do have old class pages without photos, put the stuff on it and be happy. But on Monday, you're going to make sure that I have a picture on this. Cool. Right, I wanted to go back to the one with 2x2s. Let's have that wood green square with the camera and the blue square with the sunshine. I remember, I was thinking about this the other day when I was working on class content. I went to a class at CKU once, which was a big convention. And they were really well, like you got a great curriculum of classes across your weekend. But there was one class, some of the classes were more philosophical, and one of them was, and some of them were more like a big make and take kind of thing. So you're following instructions to make something. And there was one that I was doing that was a make and take, but I'd seen the sample and I really loved the design of it, but the color scheme was like not me. So I brought in different papers to sub in and follow the same project with different papers. The teacher had never had anybody do that before and she didn't know what to do. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, those colors are not really my thing, and I really love these colors, but I really love your design, so I was just going to make the same thing but swap out the papers." And like I don't think that would be shocking now at all, right? That's fine. But at the time, I just think nobody had done it in her class, and she was kind of totally lost. Oh my goodness. Okay, that terrified me. So they just brought the cherry picker up outside my window. I did not hear the cherry picker come up. And then the construction guy is like knocking on the bricks next to the window. So it really sounded like someone was knocking on the door upstairs. Like there is not a door here. But you know, I could turn the camera on him and live stream him from here without permission. I'm not doing that. But it did make me jump quite a lot. Oh, Zen also changed out things. And he's still knocking. It's kind of scary. Changed that thing and had teachers get upset. This teacher wasn't upset. She was just very confused. All right. So what order are we going to put all this? And then I need to make sure that there's still going to be room for the photo. So I think we do that by running this direction. Now, you know, normally I put everything square, but we have things here that are already not square. So I think this is what we're going to work with. Now, those of you who have the 49 and market papers, is everything in that collage square or is it a mix? Are there some little angles thrown in? That's not the right one. That's the right one. So put that up here, but we'll angle it just the tiniest bit. And put this one down here. I think this one will be square. Come on. But that one will go at an angle there. Now, how high up is that? Oh, that's just about right. Can see all that? I'd kind of like the rainbow to be high enough to see the flowers. Oh, maybe I will angle it too. Now, if you are doing angles, where things will go wrong is that you will tend to make it a bigger angle than it needs to be. We see things that are not straight really easily. Almost everybody will be able to look at a frame that's hanging like 2 degrees off on the wall and be like, that's not straight. Unless you're like putting it up yourself and you're right next to it. When you back off from it, you see it straight away. If you went into a museum and they had not been put up with levels and lasers and all of that, you would be like, what is going on? Everything, this is the Cricket House. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah. So we see just a tiny derivation from the norm really quickly when it comes to, is it straight or is it angled? So you don't need to go like 15 degrees. 1 or 2 is fine. So just go smaller than you think you need to. That's always my advice. All right, so we got that there. Now, this is a very different collection from this and, many years in between. So in order for this to feel like it matches, we should bring something down to it, okay? Now, look at the elements that are in your collage. So we have some folded pieces here. We've got something that's torn and folded over. We've got some staples, okay? So we can make that happen. Also, this is hand cut. So you can see over there. We're gonna hand cut this. I'll just re-ink it. And I'm purposely not pulling out like a punch or anything. I don't want it to be a perfect circle. I want it to be a little wobbly. I'm going to ink her all up. And then I'm going to kind of crease and fold back up. Batter it up a bit. Oh no, Liz's husband was watching a YouTube video about the Genesis space program and the narrator was straight into the camera, but it was not straight and he couldn't see how wrong it was, but it was all that Liz could see. Okay, so I'm going to do like just a little overlap here and see if I just kind of crease it like that. And then maybe tear one little section here. Right. And then I'll glue it like this, but then I'll also staple. Oh, that's a good question. Where did I put my stapler? Sometimes I have to take it with me for WB's activities when various pieces of paper need to be presented. Have I left it in an audition bag or is it here? Okay, well, I will staple it. Okay, so that's gonna have staples. And let's bring something like that up here as well. And let's go back to this paper to bring us something. So, this floral is cut from the B side. It's the same graphic. So let's cut something out. Let's take this here. Okay, can ink that edge there. crease and fold and put it in this corner here. It's just too big for my hole punch, so I gotta do this. Now, see how it does this kind of almost like a little candy ribbon. And then I can put another staple up there too. But I'll glue it for now. Oh, repositionable adhesive. I'm so happy. Now, where are you going to go, little camera? Because I don't really want to take the wood grain away from it. I like it on wood grain. And just bring it down here. Yeah. Let's distress the edges just a little bit, instead of leaving it. I don't want to tear it, but I also don't want it being so perfectly square. So we're going to make it a different texture altogether. Yeah. Then we can put a title piece down here. And we got plenty of room for photos. We got a little room of journaling there, but we could also journal on here. Well, let's throw a bunch of gold at it. All right. So on Monday, we will start with this and put photo, title. Be all good. Did I have some confetti around that would be a good match? Should I, you know. Just wondering if the gold would look really nice with this. I think it would, right? So I'm not sure which one yet. I think maybe, I feel like all of the collaginess means use more than one kind of lettering. So I'll use another kind of lettering for the first word, and then I'll put this one in here. Let's do that. Okay, so on here I need to mark that I'm using the word story. So these were from Vicky's Cut and Paste, which is a few kits back. And then we'll link this one up. And we'll add another word to it when the photos are there so that the title makes sense with whatever we're going to put in there. And staples, at least staples. Okay, so we got 2 different projects today. Finishing this one and starting this one. And then we'll finish this and go into something new on Monday. If the kit arrives before then we'll go into the kit. And if not, we'll finish using the stuff that I pulled out and we'll make a second layout with that. Does that sound all right? And hey, haven't mentioned, I have a new class coming and it's called Just Joy, and the link to sign up for it is in the description box. You should do that. You get 20 edited lessons and 6 live streams where you can ask questions and stuff like that for $25. And so you get a whole bunch of content, and I hope that you will join me and enjoy the adventure along the way. All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you very soon. I'm live Monday, 1:30 p.m. All right. Thanks. See you soon. If you enjoyed the video and want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be super duper awesome. Appreciate it. Have a great one. Glad you were here.